1st of June, a day that's changed the rules of modern warfare. Ukraine, under relentless attack, hit back hard. A deep drone strike right into the heart of Russia. No planes, no pilots, just silent machines ripping through some of the most prized Russian bombers. A strike that felt more like 1967 than 2025. Bold, precise, and possibly dangerous. Could this light the fuse for all-out war? Let's break it down. Just after midnight, Ukrainian drones launched a surprise assault. But these weren't flying from Kyiv. They were smuggled in, hidden inside trucks dressed as regular shipping containers. Think Trojan horse, but modern. Once inside Russian territory, the containers opened. Dozens of AI-guided drones swarmed out, scanning, locking on, and striking with deadly accuracy. Their targets, Russia's long-range bombers, Tu-95s and Tu-22M3s, the very bombers that had been pounding Ukrainian cities. By the end of the day, 40 of them were gone, damaged or destroyed. Russia lost billions. Ukraine didn't lose a single aircraft. And to make sure no one could trace the source, the containers blew themselves up. This wasn't merely a hit, it was a message. This wasn't the first time a smaller country hit first and hit hard. In 1967, Israel pulled off a similar masterstroke. Operation Focus. They took out 338 Egyptian planes in under 2 hours. That strike rewrote the Six-Day War. Now, Ukraine's move joins that rare club where brains beat brawn, just like Israel's recent major strike on Hezbollah. The attack showed the power of deep planning, clever tech, and total nerve. Across decades, what connects these strikes? They were smart, they took the enemy by surprise, and there was total commitment when the stakes couldn't be higher. But to really understand this war, we need to rewind. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, NATO continued to expand eastward, closer and closer to Russia. For Moscow, it felt like a threat creeping up to its borders. Ukraine joining NATO? That was the final straw. Russia called it a red line. When talks failed, Putin acted. In 2022, he invaded. But this isn't just about land or NATO. There's a deeper divide, cultural, even religious. Many in the West see Ukraine as one of us. Russians? Not quite. Orthodox Christianity, Slavic roots, post-Soviet identity, it all makes them feel like outsiders in Western eyes. That bias has shaped the media story too. Russian voices have been shut out, RT and Sputnik banned, search results filtered, dissent silenced. Unlike during the Cold War, today's coverage is one-sided. Speaking of mutually opposite perspectives, NATO says Russia's hands aren't clean. Crimea was seized in 2014. Russian-backed separatists lit up Donbass. And the denazification excuse? It doesn't hold water in much of the world. But to many Russians, this war isn't about conquest. It's about survival, history, and stopping NATO at their doorstep. And when the censorship was relaxed a bit, a Western journalist, American Tucker Carlson, interviewed Putin, who said the annexation of Crimea was necessitated by a Ukrainian violation of a pact, the Minsk agreements, brokered by France and Germany, aimed at resolving the conflict in the Donbass region, obligated Ukraine to offer the separatist regions significant autonomy, including the ability to form their own police force. Russia argues that Ukraine's failure to implement these provisions justified its actions in Crimea, including its annexation. Now let's get back to the present and talk scale. This is the biggest one-day loss of Russian aircraft since 1941, when Nazi Germany wiped out thousands of Soviet planes in Operation Barbarossa. Ukraine has taken up to one-third of Russia's bomber fleet in a single night. Each Tu-95 costs $150 million. A Tu-160, $250 million. That's billions gone just like that. And here's the wild part. There is growing evidence that those drones were assembled inside Russia, in Chelyabinsk. If true, Ukraine didn't just strike deep, they did it from within. That's next level. This isn't an ordinary win for Ukraine, it's a preview of future wars. Cheap drones, smart AI, real-time targeting. This is the world's first full-scale drone war, and it's changing everything. Old defense systems can't keep up. Big air forces, it might not matter if your enemy can sneak past you with tech in a box. And it's not just about the battlefield. One ex-user asked, can civil aviation survive this? It's a fair question. When attacks can be launched so cheaply, so easily, the skies feel a little less safe. So what's next? Russia was expected to strike back, and it has begun. Russia is looking at the humiliation as its Pearl Harbor moment. This means more missiles hitting Ukrainian cities, maybe even NATO supply hubs in Poland, or, in a darker turn, targeting Europe's energy grid. But the scariest possibility? Third World War. Some Russian strategists have hinted at going nuclear if they feel backed into a corner. This is the game of brinkmanship. The West has walked a fine line so far, no direct clash, but wasn't this direct? Ukraine alone couldn't have achieved it. But this drone strike might change that. Could it drag NATO in? Could it spiral into something global? Right now, the world's watching and hoping we don't cross the line. Ukraine's strike will go down as one of the boldest or the most daring in modern history. No pilots, no fighter jets, just smart tech, guts, and a plan. But the next move, that's Russia's. Will they retaliate or escalate? Of course they would. Could this be the start of something even more dangerous? We'll be watching. Subscribe to stay ahead of the story. This is Surajit Dashgupta signing off.